Our teams are back. We're talking about some more Final Fantasy VII Rebirth in this case, and I wasn't 100% if I wanted to put out a video today because I'm still want to play through some more Crisis Core Reunion, but I did have to cover this. It's actually potentially some really big news. What we have is the Japanese voice actors for Aerith and Zack, who are of course married IRL, which we might look at a quote from that as well. Doing an interview with the Weekly Famitsu about kind of Crisis Core Reunion, but also the Japanese voice actor for Zack kind of weighs in on the future of Zack when it comes to Rebirth, so obviously that's something we're all quite interested in, so we definitely have to discuss this. Translations of this interview coming from Audrey on Twitter, of course, and it says, Crisis Core FF7 Reunion is a game made with the utmost quality, and I hope we can enjoy it together and experience those feelings from the original story once more. And regarding FF7 Rebirth, I can't talk much about it, but it seems that Zack also has an active role in that game too. I guess you can say it's a mystery within a mystery, and I hope to be able to add flair to the character while also enjoying the game as a fan and wondering where the story will head from here on out. Now, some people are kind of brushing that off as like, well, whatever quote, which is kind of weird to me because I think it's pretty big news. And it's relatively obvious to a certain degree, right? Given the ending of Remake and the episode intermission scene that we got, the ending of that as well. And hell, actually, the Rebirth trailer itself, we got to see a little more of like Zack and Cloud, right? So with everything involving Remake, from the base game, the DLC, and the trailer for Rebirth, they've shown us something for Zack. So it was pretty clear that there's going to be more to it. But the fact that he says an active role seems like it might be more so what we've been theorizing and talking about for a while. And there could be a lot of possibilities here, but maybe Zack is playable, or that as we're going through the story of Rebirth, we might cut away to Zack at different times to kind of see what he's doing. And it's hard to theorize what that could be, right? Because we don't have confirmation, we'll say for now, of whether or not that he's dead or alive, right? Like, there's evidence that supports both of those things. So it can kind of go either way with the story, and I kind of fond of both of them. Like, either way could work. It's just like a tragic, dark story to him being like dead and not realizing it and having to come to terms with that. But then there's also, if he's alive, you get that reunion with Aerith when they're both alive and get to meet up and see each other again, which they never got to do because of the ending of Crisis Core, right? There's a lot of good shit that can happen from like either story. But him being an active part of the story means that it won't just be him like popping up at the end, right? Another like post-credit scene or some shit. We're going to be seeing Zack as we're playing Rebirth in some capacity, in some way. To me, it's a big deal. It's good to have that sort of confirmation from the actual voice actor himself. It's not necessarily a surprise, but we weren't entirely sure what they're going to be doing with Zack, right? This next one's kind of cute, I guess. We get their impressions on the other's characters, so the Zack VA's impressions on Aerith and then vice versa. To which they say, Aerith is a rather strange one. Aside from that, she's very clear on what she's thinking, although she might not be good at putting it into words. I think anyone's first love will forever be special to them, and for Aerith, the first person she truly fell in love with was very important to her. They're similar in that behind their light lies a loneliness they both carry, and I think that perhaps was the point that resonated in her. Ain't that just the cutest shit ever? I'm also kind of curious how much of the answers that they gave are actually about their significant other, obviously, because he's talking about Aerith, but his wife voices Aerith, so it's got to be a bit of an inspiration for their answers. But yeah, obviously these two know these characters very, very well, right? They've been voicing these characters since they've had voices. If I'm not mistaken, right, most of the, if not all the Japanese cast, I think up until Crisis Core Reunion is where they started changing some stuff. Like, they changed Genesis, obviously. And then, like, Reno's Japanese voice actor died some time ago, stuff like that. So, and then there might have been another recasting or two, but for the most part, the Japanese voice cast has been the same kind of forever. And last, I want to read this quote from the Aerith voice actor about what her thoughts were on fans' reactions to them getting married. And she says, I personally have a very hard time identifying myself with the character I play, but when we announced our marriage, there was a lot of reaction from Final Fantasy fans saying, I'm so happy. It's like Zack and Aerith got married. It made me so happy to receive such warm congratulations from fans. It's been more than 11 years since our marriage, and we're still getting along well. I'm glad we didn't let anyone down among those who congratulated us. And honestly, it is a pretty cool, like, coincidence, if you want to call it that. Like, they voiced these two characters, Zack and Aerith, who for the last, I guess, technically, like, 25 years now have, been in a relationship, right? They end up voicing these characters, and then sometime down the road, actually hook up. Like, they get together, they get married, and shit like that, and they've been married for now 11 years. And it's just like, I don't know how unique of a situation that is in the voice acting world, but it can't happen all that goddamn often, right? But the fact they've been together and been married for so long now, it's like, it could have been a short relationship. They could have got together, maybe got married and divorced in a couple years, but they're still together to this day, which, they're almost like star-crossed lovers, just like Zack and Aerith. It's the cutest goddamn thing I've ever seen. But it's actually, I think, all the translations that Audrey's put out from this. I don't know how big the interview itself was with the voice actors, but she only has like 3 translations that I'm seeing on the feed. So that's kind of all of it right there. That's more or less the video. I want to read those other 2 as well, just to make the video a little bit longer, because if we just read the Zack being having an active role in Rebirth, it would have been a very short video. As for Crisis Core Reunion, my dudes, I'm not very far into it. It is very, very fun. It's been a couple years since I really played the first game, but obviously the overhaul, it's like the graphics, like the gameplay and shit like that, it's very, very nice. I I think I'm only like 3 to 4 hours in or something, but I was playing that shit like 5 a.m. this morning. Tweeted that shit out. I was like 5 a.m. couldn't sleep. I was like, I'm gonna play some goddamn Reunion. So it is fun. So if you guys are playing Crisis Core Reunion, what are your thoughts on it? What are you feeling so far? And as for also what we talked about in this video, like what are your thoughts on Zack playing an active role in Rebirth? What do you think that's gonna be? That's the video I'm gonna do. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Social networks in the description below. Follow me on Twitter @STFYT. That's it. Bye.
Used to care what people thought, but now I care more, and nobody out here's got it figured out. So therefore, I've lost all hope of a happy ending, depending on whether or not it's worth it. So insecure, no one's perfect. We spend it with no shame. We blow that like Coltrane. We in here like Logain, or leave it like Cobain.